single day of commemoration is important to bring and shed highlight and light and importance of this disease, what people are going through and what still needs to be done. But the reality is that cancer is not just being diagnosed on the 4th of February. People are dying from this disease daily, and especially in low and middle income countries, we are one of those countries, and in the African context where cancer surveillance, cancer screening, early detection and treatment is so far behind. There are many fellow Africans and fellow Namibians who are suffering in silence. So while it is important that we have this day to commemorate and to place emphasis on it, the fight against cancer is a 365 days a year program that we need to continue. We need to continue create awareness. We need to reinforce the messages, and we need to push and call on government for strengthened cancer control and management of the disease and support for patients.
Now, for listeners who may not know, how serious is the cancer burden currently in Namibia and globally?
So at current, when we look at GlobalCan, that is the Global Cancer Observatory of WHO, as well as the Cancer Atlas, that is the American Cancer Society, which is one of the biggest organizations globally. The Cancer Association of Namibia has the National Cancer Registry. We established this in 1995, and we've been doing it all the years. The data that feeds into these two registries, and what we then do to refine and to plan ahead, shows that Namibia has one of the highest cancer incidence rates. And when we consider that 4,100 Namibians are newly diagnosed with a form of cancer annually, and compare that with our population size. So we condense that to per 100,000 population group. And we compare that with the rest of Africa. We see that Namibia is one of the top ranking countries in Africa that is affected by cancer. When we look at breast cancer and prostate cancer specifically, when we look at our colorectal cancers, when we look at our head and neck cancers, when we compare these statistics and benchmark with the rest of Africa, we see that our population is very heavily affected. And these are first world forms of cancers, which we generally ascribe to lifestyle. So what happened in Namibia basically is that we transitioned from a traditional farming lifestyle to a more urban setting, processed food, first world lifestyle, and this has got very negative effects on our bodies, which means our immune systems cannot handle it. So the migration was too fast, the boom was too fast. And then we've also got the infectious diseases, immune-related cancers, so your cervical cancers, head and neck, throat cancers by HPV human papilloma infections. These all are quite high for Namibia, so we have a serious challenge in our country.
Now, Rolf, you just mentioned that Namibia is said to be among the top-ranking countries in Africa when it comes to cancer cases. From your perspective, what is driving these numbers and what more should be done urgently to strengthen prevention, early detection and treatment in the country?
So as mentioned, our fast-changing lifestyle in Namibia since independence, when we became a global citizen, that goes along with disease and our bodies that cannot handle the immune system. So what is needed right now to address this is a national cancer control plan that mitigates, that manages, that ensures resources, funding to fight the disease. The National Cancer Control Plan is the one that says this is the budget that is needed to fight this disease. Through this National Cancer Control Plan, we can build stronger surveillance, we can decentralize cancer screening, cancer treatment and care, because what we have right now is a very centralized cancer care system in our country when it comes especially to our state health system. All cancer cases are referred to Windhoek Central Hospital, where the Dr. A.V. May Cancer Care Center was established in the 80s and then formally in 1993 established where it is currently. So this center has been right there since 1994. And that unit was designed for about 70 patients per week coming through. Right now, there's about 120 patients per day that's traveling through that unit. So a national cancer control plan is critical to strengthen the national cancer program to support especially state patients and then to decentralize these services so that people in the regions can have access to cancer care so that they don't need to travel to Windhoek, because with the traveling to Windhoek, with the stay in Windhoek, away from families, their children in the regions, patients become quite despondent and they don't want to travel because automatically it becomes a financial burden, an emotional burden, and a safety burden for their children staying behind, for instance. So this actually then deters the patients from staying on treatment and getting to treatment timely, adds to the stigma, adds to the field. So a national cancer control plan that is very strong is what is needed right now.
Can you tell us what are some of the most common types of cancers affecting people in Namibia?
Our most prevalent cancer is our non-invasive, non-life-threatening basal and squamous cell carcinomas. So these are the superficial cancers on the top layer of the skin, but they affect everyone. So again, cancer is a disease of the cells in the body, transformation, mutation of the cells, that's cancerous. And this can affect everyone, whether light in complexion, dark in complexion, male, female, age, doesn't play a role. So skin cancers, top ranking, but the life-threatening cancers where people are dying from it, breast cancer, number 1, prostate cancer, number 2, cervical cancer, number 3. Kaposi sarcoma, which is commonly associated with immune disease, immune deficiency or HIV infection. And then we have our colorectal cancers, our lung cancers, our oral throat, head and neck cancers. But the top 3 that is really bothersome and worrying for us right now is our breast cancers. Women are presenting way too late with advanced disease or metastatic disease where the breast cancer has already metastasized to a different part of the body, and then the treatment outcomes are poor. This fuels the stigma that once you have been diagnosed with cancer, it's a death sentence. But the challenge actually is that our people are presenting too late. Prostate cancer, the same. Men are quite ignorant still. They think that they need a rectal examination for prostate cancer. But a simple PSA blood test can actually screen and detect early enough. So we need to reinforce the message that with especially breast and prostate cancer, annual screening is critically important. Cervical cancer, huge challenge still. We need to empower women to go for screening at least every 3 years. If HIV positive, every year a pap smear or cervical investigation is required.
Now, early detection is often emphasized. What are the key warning signs or screenings people should never ignore?
So anything where your body tells you that something is seriously wrong, a persistent fever, any discharge, bloody discharge or smelly discharge, a lump, a bump or growth in the body that does not dissipate. So even if you've got your antibiotics or something, very often you might have a bump and it might bruise or it might form a light cyst. And that's part of the body, the immune system trying to heal. But if this does not go away, it means that there's something wrong. The immune system of your body that fights off disease, there's irregularity and it needs to be focused on. One of the things that we always tell patients, or especially the public when we do awareness, is if you see that all of a sudden you have irregular bowel changes. So where in the day you would go to the restroom once a day to relieve yourself, all of a sudden you are seeing more regular, or you have got chronic diarrhea, or there is blood in the stool. These are common signs that there is something wrong in the body. Again, it's the immune system warning you that there is a foreign attack on the body, or there is something internally with your cells that is fighting against your healthy cells. So the same thing like you would feel you have a flu or a cold or something coming on, but then it goes away after a while after medication. If after 3 weeks that flu or that growth or that discharge or that pain or that fever does not go away, it means that internally there's something wrong with your body engine and you need to have it checked out.
Yeah. How important is community awareness and open conversations when it comes to fighting cancer stigma?
In our very diverse cultural setting in Namibia, where we have different language, so language barrier, cultural barriers, spiritual and religious barriers, we have a lot of work to do. If I have a conversation about awareness in the south of the country, our approach should be culturally relevant. Mother tongue education, vernacular education is critically important. When we speak about cancer in the northeast of the country, our approach must be very, very different as well. Some cultures frown upon it, religion frowns upon it, but one of the things that we have picked up a lot is also misinformation, distrust, and a vocal outspokenness without having contextual knowledge and medical understanding. And here I'm not talking about nursing or doctor professional experience. It's purely the educated understanding about what is cancer. Cancer is not a disease that you give someone. It's not witchcraft. Mostly it's not inherited. There is a 7% hereditary factor in cancer. Majority of cancer cases is lifestyle related right now, and the latest study has found. So we cannot say that it is because of this or because of that vaccine or because of European influence or because of there is a Western agenda against Africa. It's not the case. It is simply the building blocks in your body that are rearranging and need to because of the lifestyle that we live, and our immune systems can't deal with it. And this is actually fueling the stigma, misinformation, distrust. So what we ask, especially when we talk about awareness, is before we open our mouths and spread misinformation, let's do a bit of research and let's see how we can reinforce the message of healthier lifestyles, better lifestyle choices, boosting and supporting our immune system to try and help our body fight the bad cells in our own body. Remember, it is not a disease that is introduced or a bad cell that is introduced in your body. It's your own body cells that are mutating because of external factors. Small margin of genetic factors. But we need to help our own body's immune system to fight when a cell in our own bodies become a bit warped.
Yeah.
So I want to encourage every Namibian, remember that your health is your wealth. Get the right information, contact the Cancer Association, speak to your local Ministry of Health and Social Services clinic. If you need more knowledge or information, please get the facts, live a healthier lifestyle. Just going around the block with your family for about 30 minutes each day makes a big difference in your healthy lifestyle. Take control, take ownership, be safe, and let's build a prosperous Namibia. Thank you very much.